Hey y'all, I just want to take 5 minutes out of my day to introduce you to my no reserve 1970 F250. And it is currently live on Bring a Trailer right now. So I just want to tell you a little bit about the story, about how I acquired the truck, about the build process, and just some general information about the truck. So when I acquired the truck, I had purchased it online, actually through Facebook Marketplace, and the truck was located in Kennewick, Washington. When I purchased the truck, it was just a plain Jane, run-of-the-mill, two-wheel drive, but it was super solid, rust-free, and it was just a prime candidate for what we wanted to do to the truck. So when I purchased the truck, my buddy and I hopped on an airplane, flew to Washington, and we got picked up at the airport in Spokane. They drove us to Kennewick, where we hopped in the truck and drove it 2,800 miles home. Along the way, we stopped and bought ourselves a little camper trailer in northern Idaho. We drove over some mountain passes, through the plains of Montana, into the Black Hills of South Dakota, where we stopped at Mount Rushmore, and just all kinds of stuff along the way. So once we got it home, the build began. So, just like any quality restoration process, to start it off, you pretty much just have to blow this stuff apart. So what we started to do was just remove the bed, remove the cab, the whole front end. We pretty much just took it down to a bare chassis. From there, we removed all the old junk two-wheel drive suspension, because let's face it, nobody likes two-wheel drives. So from there, we started on the mock-up of our front axle assembly. So our front axle is actually out of a 2008 Ford Super Duty. So this axle is a 373 open diff Dana 60. So the cool features about swapping in one of these newer axles is you now get to go to a coil spring, and also you get to put in a newer style steering box from a 2005 to 2007 Ford Super Duty. The beauty of putting this axle in is you can go to any auto parts store and get any part for it at any time. It's awesome in that sense. So once our front axle swap was done, we moved on to the rear axle. So the rear axle was a little bit more straightforward, a little bit more simple to swap in. The rear axle is also out of that 2008 Ford Super Duty. It's a 373 limited slip. All we really had to do for this axle was just relocate the purchase to get it to fit, and then just kind of modify the rear e-brake cables so that they would work with my factory 1970 e-brake system. So that just takes care of the axle build right there. So to talk about the drivetrain in this truck features a carbureted 460, a C6 automatic transmission, and a married NP205 transfer case. So the 460 I had already owned. It's a Jasper rebuilt engine. I pretty much had it in my basement for the past year. It came out of a truck that I had previously owned. It was pretty much painted up and ready to go. I knew it was a good, reliable, solid motor, so I figured this is a perfect truck to put this motor in. So it features a Edelbrock 600 CFM carburetor, a points distributor, and an Excel ignition. So another thing I want to point out while I'm under the hood of this truck, one, the air conditioning. Don't forget about our ice cold air conditioning. That stuff blows out of those vents at 53 degrees. Tell me if that's cold enough for you. The other thing I wanted to talk about was this really cool 2004 Super Duty brake booster and master cylinder. So what's cool about this is this supports our giant disc brakes underneath this truck. So you can be driving this truck down the road at 50 or 60 miles an hour, and it just locks them right up. It'll stop on a dime. I mean, it's truly incredible the way this truck stops. Another thing I want to show you guys is the interior of the truck. We didn't really get too crazy on the interior because, well, I kind of like an original interior, and you know, it has a small crack in the dash, but that doesn't bother me. It's part of the patina and the mystique of the truck. One of the cool upgrades that we did on this truck was the install of our Vintage Sound Bluetooth radio. So what's cool about this thing is you hop in the truck, turn the key, bam, it's connected to your phone. You're listening to the music that you want to listen to. It's really cool. Even if you want to listen to the radio, it connects up to AM and FM, and the connection is excellent. Another cool thing that I did with this radio was I installed these really cool speaker pods from 3D Ford printed parts. So what I did was I did a little bit of body work to them, got them a little bit smoother. We resealed them and sprayed them in the original boxwood green color just to kind of match the inside of the cab. So not only does it have Bluetooth, it also sounds excellent. So after we had done our whole front axle swap and mocked everything back up, we pulled everything apart, and that pretty much just started the cleaning process. This truck didn't have any rust, so there wasn't any kind of rust removal or remediation that it required. So pretty much what we did was we brought the bed inside. It had most of its original primer underneath, which I thought was really impressive. But we brought it inside, cleaned everything up, resprayed the whole underside of the bed in the original red lacquer primer, along with we blew some color in on the inside of the bed lips and also on the inner wheel wells, just to kind of match the original look, you know. From there, we did the underside of the cab and blended, and then we repainted the firewall in the original boxwood green and kind of blended that down into the front cab mounts like the original trucks were as well. We disassembled our front end, repainted our inner fenders, our rad support, and that was about it for that. But so to finish off this video, I pretty much just want to show you guys the functions of these doors. I want to show you the functions of the truck. So look at how nice this door closes. See that? See that nice line right there? That you can't beat that. That's an original truck right there, guys. Open it back up. Wow. There's the door. So if we work our way back around the back side of the truck, here's the tailgate. Also works excellent. So here's our toolbox on the side. I know, like where I live in the Northeast, if this truck lived here its entire life, this toolbox wouldn't be working anywhere near like this anymore. It'd be a little more creaky, let's just say that. So anyway, there's the function of the toolbox. Here's our passenger side door. And now we come around to the hood. And there's the hood. So that's pretty much all I have to show you guys. If you have any questions or concerns, feel free to shoot me a message on Bring a Trailer, and I'd love to answer them with another video because I've had a lot of fun making this.